the Daily Trust News Center. This is the News Hour.
On News Hour tonight, suspension of NPower program is to rejig the scheme for improved benefit of participant, Ministry explains. Court passes death sentence on police officer who killed Lagos lawyer Bolanle Rahim. 3 suspected ISIS members arrested in Abuja with assault rifles. And away from Nigeria, solidarity protests in support of Palestinians as Israel Defense Minister orders complete siege on Gaza. Hello and welcome to News Hour on Trust TV tonight. I am Eugenia Abu. The federal government says the suspension of the NPower scheme is to give way for its restructuring to enable it better serve beneficiaries. It is also to give way for a proper audit, as several beneficiaries from 2022 have complained about not receiving their 30,000 naira monthly stipend in the past 9 months, according to the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation. Chamung Dabeng reports.
The NPower scheme was rolled out in June of 2016 and was targeted at addressing youth unemployment and promoting social development. Since its inception in 2016, 960,000 Nigerian youths have been enrolled into the NPower scheme. However, the federal government has found reasons to suspend the NPower scheme indefinitely. According to the National Program Manager of NPower, preliminary findings have shown that some consultants are holding on to the beneficiaries' funds, prompting the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs to carry out an investigative audit of the last 12 months.
Definitely the investigation will not take long and the payment will soon resume. The Honorable Minister has identified the need for restructuring of the program so that more training can be granted in the areas of education, in the areas of agriculture.
Some have speculated that beneficiaries have failed to report to their respective places of duty but still receive their monthly stipends, showing an obvious leakage that needs to be blocked. Equally, as Nigeria's economy worsens, many worry about the capacity and purchasing power of a 30,000 naira stipend, with some stakeholders calling for an increment of the stipend upon the return of the scheme.
What she intends to do is to make sure, number one, she ensures sustainability of the program, in the sense that there is monitoring, there is M&E with this restructuring of the NC program. There is project manager for monitoring and evaluation. That person will monitor what is happening within the NPower, whether the beneficiaries are reporting at their primary places of primary assignment or not. But I believe with the current economic situation, as I was speaking with the project manager of NPower, Mr. Akindele, they are looking into all this.
Nigerians have been reacting to the development, though with mixed responses.
So if she wants to reject it, I think it's a welcome development. It's a welcome development. I think I support the suspension for the time being to see how it can be rejected to actually capture more youths.
If they are suspending it, fine, but suspending to do what? Because from what I heard, they are going to suspend it and bring their own list. So it sounds like no more Peter but Paul is coming.
Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation plans to restructure the scheme, stating that their target is now 1 million Nigerians every year for the next 5 years. The ministry also plans to increase the age limit of beneficiaries from 18 to 35, 18 to 40, amongst other plans. Chamun Dabeng, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Several farmlands located along the banks of River Benue in Taraba State have been submerged by water as River Benue overflows. Similarly, residential buildings in villages along the river were destroyed. A resident of Mayoreneo town in Abdul Kola local government area, Jeddah, Mayoreneo, told Daily Trust that many houses in the town had collapsed after River Benue overflowed its bank. Jeddah stated that several villages had relocated as their houses had been submerged by water. Amina Abdullahi is the Daily Trust reporter in Adamawa. She joins us now via phone to speak on the recent flood disaster in the state. Amina, hello there.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening to you. Flood destroyed farmlands and displaced many in Yola and Jimeta on Sunday. What is the situation like at this moment?
The displaced affected people of flood are currently seeking shelter at Limawa Primary School and Gadabawa Primary School in Yola North local government areas. The facilities are overcrowded with up to 17 people occupying a single room. And there is the Red Cross providing essential health care and addressing other urgent needs. We just had this evening that 2 women gave birth at the Limawa Primary School last night, which is highlighting the need for maternal health care services. So as of now, the victims are requesting for mosquito nets and food as their basic necessity at the moment.
So 2 women have already given birth, in those places. Yeah. Tell us what the authorities are doing to help people relocate to safer places in view of the release of Lagdo Dam.
Okay. Here today, the head of operations at SEMA head of operations, Mr. Ladan Ali, said that they have been given the go-ahead to roll out palliative relief materials from the national body after an emergency meeting they had in Abuja with other critical stakeholders. They said the relief materials will be given immediately alongside other NGOs and stakeholders. But he hasn't made mention of anything related to the Lagdo Dam. But last Saturday, the Deputy Governor, Professor Kaletapo Farauta, visited the flood-affected population to express her sympathy for the victims and encourage them to seek proper care at the IDP camp. However, the victims have voiced their concerns over the lack of transportation to the camps, with most of them lacking the means to transport themselves.
Finally, do you have any updates from the neighboring Taraba state?
No, I don't have any updates from that of Taraba.
Thank you so very much for speaking to us. Amina Abdullahi, our correspondent from Adamawa State. Justice Ibironke Harrison of the Lagos State High Court, sitting at the Tafawa Balewa Square, has sentenced a suspended police officer, ASP Drambi Vandi, to death by hanging. On January 16th, the Lagos State government arraigned Vandi before the court for allegedly shooting to death a 41-year-old pregnant lawyer at the Aja Underbridge checkpoint on December the 25th, 2022. Trust TV's Aishat Momo files in this report as presented.
Justice Ibironke Harrison of the Lagos State Court, sitting at Tafawa Balewa Square, while sentencing Assistant Superintendent of Police, ASP Drambi Vandi, to death by hanging, found him guilty on counts 1 preferred against him, noting that the offense was contrary to Section 223 of the Criminal Law of Lagos State. While speaking with journalists after the verdict on Monday, the Director of Public Prosecution, Babajide Martins, thanked the Lagos State government for providing enabling environment to see the prosecution through. The Secretary of the Subcommittee, constituted by the Nigeria Bar Association, Abiye Tam George, said the judgment was beautifully delivered, adding that the judge did exactly what she was sworn in to do.
Beautifully well delivered judgment are just taking place. The NBA has been at the forefront. Immediately we were informed of this tragedy. We had done everything humanly possible, contacting the Commissioner of Police. We contacted the AG, the Attorney General, and we did everything. We have been at the house of the deceased. We have consoled and we have done everything to ensure that the family that is bereaved find succor.
We believe that this is a step to cushion the effects on the family members, because at the end of the day, it cannot replace the loved one, but it is a step in the right direction because justice has been served, justice has been ensured, and every person knows that if you commit a crime, there is a consequential result, which is the punishment towards that crime. Thank you.
Meanwhile, the Defense Counsel, Adetokunbo Odutola, says he will determine the next line of action after getting a certified true copy of the judgment.
So when we read the judgment, we know what step. You would also hear when she said, when I asked for a copy of the judgment, and my Lord said she knows we want to move forward. It's not yet over until it is over.
The Lagos State government had on January 16 arraigned Assistant Superintendent of Police ASP Drambi Vrandi before the court for allegedly shooting to death a 41-year-old pregnant lawyer at the Ajah Underbridge checkpoint on December 25, 2022.
4 people have sustained various degrees of injuries as a result of fire outbreak at Sandaji Filling Station in Lafia, the Nasarawa state capital. The Director of State Fire Service, Ombugu Joshua, made this known while narrating the incident to Trust TV shortly after putting off the fire. Abubakar Abdullahi sent in this report as presented from our studios.
Sandaji Filling Station, located along Jos Road in Lafia, the Nasarawa state capital. Though no staff was on ground to speak on the cause of the fire outbreak, sources around the area, however, attributed the incident to the discharge of fuel from a tanker that supplied premium motor spirit, known as PMS, to the station. This assertion was corroborated by the State Director of Fire Service, Joshua Ombugu, who said discharging of fuel from the tanker at the wrong time caused the inferno. The Fire Service Director explained that no life was lost, but 4 people, among them 3 officers of the fire service and a civilian, suffered various degrees of injuries.
So to go to fire because we train and we have our vehicles on ground. So we have to at least to run each to come and put off the fire.
He mentioned that the level of property damage is yet to be ascertained, saying further investigation would confirm it. Trust TV observed that part of the building served as a campaign office of the PDP governorship candidate in 2023 election. A portion of the filling station and the car were burnt by the fire. As at the time of filing this report, officers from the state and federal fire service had put out the fire.
Since the implementation of the fuel subsidy removal, residents, especially drivers and travelers, have been facing difficulties occasioned by the increase in the price of PMS, popularly called petrol. In this report, Kabir Lawal speaks with operators of different parks in the FCT and brings us their take. Here's that report.
The removal of fuel subsidy has made transportation costs to increase, a situation most residents consider as unfortunate. The National Union of Road Transport Workers, NURTW in Abuja, says it has been receiving complaints from passengers on the continued increase in transportation fares, adding that parks have also been affected.
Affecting is just a small gram damaged business. So since it removed the subsidy, all things are not the same. The places they normally go that kind 12,000 naira or 12 or 15 have raised to, I can say, double. So it affects business, it affects economy, cost of living. Way be of 18. They normally collect something of 5,000 naira, has gone up to 10,000 naira.
Things have already changed in the park and not the way it used to be. We are not finding it funny at all. Whenever we tell travelers the cost of transportation, they will just change their mind and most of them go back to their houses. It is rather unfortunate for us now, and we beg the people in government to come to our aid. Drivers on their part further explain that aside the increase of PMS, prices of spare parts have also increased due to the removal of fuel subsidy in the country.
Passenger now, even we take them, see the money we carry, then we say, why be so? We say na fuel, then we send to consult them, and then know how we go do. We go press ourselves to carry them like that, because we don't know how we go do. If we leave them, then we'll still suffer, then we'll run go house.
Passengers at the park also complain that the transportation fares keep increasing a situation they said is unfortunate.
It has really been bad, really, because I'm a student and we used to take it before at the rate of 1,500, 2,000 naira. But now I have to pay 5,500 just to go to Kogi. That is just, it's not up to 3 hours.
The money I am using now for my transport fares is not encouraging. I used to buy my wares at a very low price, but now it has gone up and has actually affected my sale. Times are hard, and we are calling on the government to do the needful.
Both drivers and passengers are calling on the government to do the needful to enable businesses thrive in the country. Kabir Lawal, Trust TV News, Abuja.
In the meantime, Group Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, Mele Kyari, says there is no supply challenge that would warrant the return of long queues to fuel stations. Kyari, who spoke with newsmen at State House Abuja on Monday, refuted claims that fuel subsidy had returned to the country through the back door. Kehinde Amodu reports.
It has been very difficult for Nigerians to adjust to the removal of fuel subsidy. So when they see queues returning to some petrol stations, they get alarmed. But the group CEO of the NNPCL believes there is no cause to worry.
There is no challenge. Supply is robust. We have over 1.4 billion liters of product in our hands, both marine and land. And also that there are no issues around delivery of those products into the land. So there is no fear, nothing to bother about.
So why are there queues at some fueling stations?
There are a number of blockages on our road, crossing products from the southern depots into the northern part of the country. And it takes them much longer time than they do now. They have to reroute the trucks around many locations for them to be able to reach. And that created delays, and that created some supply. Gabada has been filled, and we do not see any of such problems again.
Kyari insists that the petroleum sector is fully deregulated, which is why petroleum marketers are now pricing their products competitively.
The full deregulation that we have in this sector, marketers are now competing amongst themselves. So one, you must have noticed some fuel stations will reduce price by 2 naira and 3 naira. So customers will naturally run to the places where you have that reduction in prices. But we're also happy that the market forces are now playing out and marketers are competing. And of course, there are a few issues we are engaging them to resolve alongside other agencies of government.
The most important question to answer is if fuel subsidy has returned through the back door.
I told you there is no subsidy whatsoever. We are recovering our full cost from the products that we import. We sell to the market. We understand why the marketers are unable to import. We hope that they do this very quick, and this is some of the intervention government is doing. There's no subsidy.
While government struggles to stabilize fuel pricing, the NNPCL Group CEO admits that the task would be a lot easier if there is a stable foreign exchange market. From State House, Abuja, Kehinde Amodu, Trust TV News.
Kano State Governor Abba Kabir has flagged off distribution of palliatives to beneficiaries in the 44 local government areas of the state. At the symbolic distribution of the items held in the government house, Governor Kabir says the distribution is part of his government's commitment to ease the sufferings of the poor people in the state. Trust TV's correspondent Idris Jibrin now reports.
Trucks loaded with bags of rice waiting to be distributed to people across the 44 local government areas of Kano State. It is part of the state government palliative distribution program comprising of 99 trailer loads of rice and 77 trailer loads of other grains in addition to the 5 trucks of food items donated by the federal government.
You may recall that during the flag off, we distributed over 52,800 bags of 10 kg rice and also over 52,800 bags of 10 kg meth across the state. I'm equally aware that since that event, people have been looking forward to this day when the general distribution of the palliative materials will continue. Today, therefore, I am happy to say that we have distribution of all the 484 wards are vulnerable groups.
According to the governor, the distribution will cut across all the 44 local government areas of the state, Policemen and all other junior officers within the security agencies will also benefit from the distribution.
Committees, especially the one at the ward levels, have been working very carefully to select the 400 households that will receive this assistance in their respective wards. I am therefore calling upon the state and local government compliance committees to ensure that those that have been identified and selected are the ones that will receive this.
Meanwhile, all representatives of the local government councils are directed to ensure that the less privileged members of the society get the palliative. Idris Jubrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
3 suspected members of ISIS were on Sunday night arrested in the Federal Capital Territory with 3 AK-47 rifles. One of the suspects, Muhammad Mukhtar, was the first to be arrested around the Dankogi Motor Park in Zuba town. He led the police to their hideout in nearby Akwa town, where his 2 accomplices were located. The Sarkin Pada of Zuba, Murtala Muhammad, told our reporter on Monday that the first suspect alighted from a motorcycle around the motor park in Zuba and was planning to board another when someone noticed the AK-47 gun concealed under his clothes. He said people raised an alarm and the suspect was arrested and taken to the chief's palace some minutes after 8 o'clock in the evening. He said during the investigation, the suspect confessed that he was a member of the ISIS group, adding that he came from Dorum Bagat town in Borno State to kill someone. The Niger State Police Command has paraded 38 suspects in connection with banditry, kidnappings, armed robbery and other crimes in the state. The police spokesman in the state, DSP Wasiu Abiodun, who paraded them at the command's headquarters in Minna, the state capital, said 14 different types of rifles were also recovered. Abubakar Akote reports.
Among the suspects was 30-year-old Salis Ibrahim, also known as Babalia, a resident of Gidigori in Rafi local government, who claimed to be a member of a bandit group that kidnapped passengers of Niger State Transport Authority (NSA) on February 15, 2021, and pupils of Salis Utanko Islamia School Tegina in Rafi local government on May 30, 2021. The suspects confessed were among other operations in Zungeru, Kagara, Yakila, as well as cattle rustling activities around Bangui and its environs. The suspect was said to have confessed that he was part of Ali Kachala camp for 2 years before moving to work with Dogo Gide, a notorious bandit kingpin in Shiro local government area of Niger State, where he spent 1 year participating in a series of attacks.
On 24 September 2023 at about 07:30 hours, based on incredible intelligence on incident of kidnapping, armed robbery around Beji, Kunu, and Zungeru Beji Road within Boso, Wushishi, and Shiroro local government areas of Niger State. Police operatives attached to crash squad with local vigilantes were mobilized to these areas, and one of the notorious bandits named Mohammed Bello, aka Gurusa, 31 years of Beji, was arrested, and during interrogation, suspect confessed to a series of armed robberies along Beji-Zungeru Road. During investigation, Musa Nagoma confessed that he was a cattle rearer to a man at Gitamangoro, and because he had a problem with the man, he invited others to kidnap his boss for ransom. The same syndicate equally confessed to kidnapping of a woman and her daughter at senior quarters in Mekunkele, in which a ransom of 1.5 million naira was collected before they were being released.
Other suspected kidnappers arrested were Mudi Mohammed of Garatu village, who led 5 other members of his group of 5 kidnappers to kill one Shakolo in Garatu, Boso local government, among other kidnappings they carried out. The one I could remember was the one I went out with Ali Kachala to rescue cattle, and we had an encounter with soldiers. We killed 9 soldiers, and soldiers killed 8 of our members. Also paraded was a 20-year-old vigilante Usman Yaya, who reportedly killed an Okada man in Mokwa and attempted to steal his motorcycle before he was arrested by the police. Abiodun said out of the 38 suspects arrested for various offenses including banditry, kidnappings, armed robbery, among others, 7 had already been charged to court, while 28 others were still undergoing investigation. He said during the operations, 1 AK-49 rifle, 2 AK-47 rifles with 14 live ammunitions, 1 locally fabricated AK-47 rifle, 1 pump-action rifle, 1 locally made revolver gun, 6 locally made guns, and 2 AK-47 magazines were recovered. Other items recovered were 1 Toyota Corolla vehicle, 16 bags of suspected India hemp, and 264 wraps of suspected India hemp. Abubakar Akote, Trust TV News, Mina.
And staying with security matters, the Borno State Police Command, in its fight against crime and criminality, has arrested over 500 suspects and convicted 250 criminals in the last 3 months. The command made this known while addressing journalists in Maiduguri. Trust TV's Bitrus Kuriti has more.
In the last 3 months, the police command says it's made progress in tackling insecurity in Borno State. Between the month of July and September, it had 537 suspects under its custody for 339 offenses. The command also informed that 30 were nabbed for sexual gender-based violence, 46 for theft, while 5 were picked up for kidnapping. The command also noted that it has a total of 135 cases, with 79 cases in court and 14 awaiting trial. The Commissioner of Police, Yusufu Lawan, attributed its successes to the assent granted by the state government to its Penal Code Law 2023,
which was recently assented by His Excellency, the Governor of Borno State, as part of the overall objective of restoration of peace in the state for sustainable growth and development.
However, the command is currently investigating a recent case of rape, culpable homicide, criminal conspiracy, and robbery, where 9 suspects have been arrested.
One Umar Boni Abubakar, male, 25 years, of Waterboard IDP camp, Mongunu, stabbed one Zarani Modu, male, 35 years, of the same address with a sharp object. As a result, the victim sustained fatal injury. The genesis was that on the 15th of September 2023, he cited the deceased standing with his wife.
The police command, while assuring that it will not relent in keeping the state safe from criminals, also says it expects the public to be security conscious and report useful information that will boost security in Borno State to the police. Bitrus Kuruti, Trust TV News, Maiduguri.
The Adamawa State Police have apprehended 2 individuals for allegedly vandalizing armored cables that connect the Burunji water treatment plant. This was contained in a statement made available to the press on Monday by the police public relations officer SP Suleiman Ngoroje. According to the statement, the suspects, 17-year-old Emmanuel Joseph and 25-year-old Johanna Soleil, both residents of Burunji, Yola North, were arrested by police operatives from the Dugirei Divisional Police Headquarters. A statement stated that the police were on a confidence-building patrol near the water treatment plant when they responded to a distress call from the plant manager. Further investigation into the incident has revealed that the suspects conspired to vandalize the armored cables that connect light to the water treatment plant, resulting in the shutting down of water supply to the community. Adamawa State Commissioner of Police CP Afolabi Babatola has reassured the public that criminals like Joseph and Soleil, as well as their collaborators, will be brought to justice. He warned those who receive such stolen items to desist from the act or face the consequences of their actions. You're watching News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up after the break, we take a look at how self-tutored engineer bags doctorate degree. More news when we return. Do stay.
That's
That's right. You too could be one of the 20 Zenith Bank customers that will win 150,000 naira every 2 weeks from June 1st, 2023 until May 31st, 2024 in the Zenith Better Life Promo 3. To qualify, simply open a Zenith Bank account. For more information, visit www.zenithbank.com/betterlife. Live the better life with Zenith Bank.
Let's take you on a ride through a series of colors, events, concerts, and lots more. Are you planning an event? EventScope has you covered. Make Trust TV your #1 choice to cover your event. Call 080-3591-0553. EventScope, making your event classic. Follow us on all of our social media platforms at Trust TV News for latest updates on EventScope.
The existence of tap-borne or potable water within the Federal Capital Territory has become somewhat of a myth.
When we see water, it just be like a goal where you just go and find out. You manage it to bath at times. You look this one don't bath, or the other one never bath. Just manage it like that.
Chicken garimu nan, a da frajection nan, ba mu da adin ruwa a ce na magari kenan. Ko ba haka ba, wannan shi muna samu ya lalace. Wannan kuma na community kenan, wannan da kaga shi nan, da ka duba garuruwa duka akwai irin shi.
For domestic water supply for your home, your bowl must be minimum of 15 to 30 meters away from your sockaway. And it's not in every district that have central sewer system. The district where they have the central sewer system, some of these sewer systems are blocked. Some of them are even feeding the boreholes, the aquifers. Some of them are getting to the aquifers because when they are blocked, they begin to percolate, they begin to sink, and it begins to mix with water from maybe the surface water, becomes more polluted.
We are reviewing the water master plan because these areas were not part of the initial water master plan.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is News Hour on Trust TV. A recap of our top stories. Suspension of Empower program is to rejig the scheme for improved benefit of participants, ministry explains. And court passes death sentence on police officer who killed Lagos lawyer Bolanle Rahim. Moving to other stories now. Nigerians have continued to express divergent views on the recent virtual judgment by the Governorship Election Petition Tribunal in different states. A cross-section of Kaduna residents who spoke to Trust TV says the development, which is new to them, raises eyebrows amongst Nigerians. Here's that report.
It started from Kano, then Kaduna, to other states in the country, and very recently Nasarawa. Some see virtual judgment adopted by tribunals as a welcome development. Others feel it is a move that may temper with the integrity of judiciary.
Initially, we are not really used to this kind of passing judgment. We are not used to it. We are new to it because what really happened in Kano is also a very shocking moment to me. Because imagine a judiciary passing judgment via online.
It's a welcome development. And perhaps if you look at the situation at hand, most of the courtrooms are always filled up and there's no even ventilation. And, for that, adopting that means of using Zoom, to me, is something something good.
It is one of the fundamental rights enshrined in our constitutions that the hearing and delivery of judgment or announcing the decision of the court is enshrined to be held in public. On another hand, like in the Electoral Act, it says in open court.
According to a Kaduna-based legal practitioner, Elizabeth Abubakar, virtual judgment are within the rules of court.
There's nothing wrong with the delivery of judgment by virtual means, because this is agreeable by the rules of court. I think there's a deliberate effort to make the National Assembly to enact a rule that can afford these courts to generally adopt virtual proceedings in their courts. In future, you will even see that most of the arguments by lawyers will be by virtual proceedings, except in criminal cases.
It was speculated that the judges opted for virtual judgment due to death threats issued to them by politicians, especially in Kano. However, Nigerians are skeptical about the new drift.
We wouldn't want to blame them, because if anything happened in another way around, whereby the opposition are not, are not okay with the judgment, anything can happen.
As for example, what happened in Kano State, there was also a curfew. That's to tell you the security agencies are capable and ready to provide the necessary security for the interest of justice if those judges have requested the police and other security agencies to provide those security cover for them to deliver what is expected of them.
No judge will be given that kind of threat and the judge will leave the environment, because the judges have access to the security agencies. In fact, in Kano, based on that threat by a commissioner and a special advisor, if the judges had wanted, they will petition the Inspector General of Police and he will bring a DIG to Kano to safeguard the court if they are delivering judgment in court.
While some are of the view that the recent delivery of judgment virtually is questioning the integrity of the judiciary, Elizabeth Abubakar is of the view that to maintain its integrity, the judiciary needs to clean its house and deliver justice. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
The FCT Minister Nyesom Wike on Monday chided the European Union (EU) over its report on the 2023 Nigerian presidential election. He said the report did not give the true position of the last election held in the country, but rather created a wrong impression in the minds of the electorate, especially in Rivers State. Wike made his position known when EU Ambassador to Nigeria, Samuel Aisopi, paid him a visit in his office. The minister said the EU was supposed to serve as an observer during the last election and not to present a report that would not give the true picture of Nigerian democracy. European Union Election Observation Mission, through the chief observer, Barry Andres, had in June presented its final report on the last Nigerian general elections and highlighted 6 priority areas with recommendations. Wike, however, said Nigerian laws can't be the same with that of the EU because they have different environments. Responding, European Union Ambassador to Nigeria, Samuel Aisopi, said the report was put together by independent observers and has nothing to do with her own operations. She pledged the Union's commitment to work with the minister to boost development in the territory and beyond. Members of the Kano State House of Assembly have donated 1.5 million naira to the commercial tricycle rider who returned missing 18 million naira to the owner. Honoring the young man on the floor of the House, Speaker of the State Assembly, Jibrin Falgore, says the House has also prayed to the state government to sponsor his education. Trust TV correspondent Idris Jibrin reports.
Awalu Dambaba arrived to the Assembly in company of his parents to be honored by the state lawmakers, following his sincerity and returned the sum of 18 million naira to a passenger who forgot the money in his tricycle. In addition to 1.5 million naira, Awalu was equally presented with a commendation letter by the Speaker on behalf of the House.
Mr. Speaker, this is the day. And I want to tell Nigerians, we in Kano, all the Hausa Fulani people, Muslims, we are sincere, we are great, we are more honorable. We can do anything to safeguard our dignity and to protect the dignity of our citizens. This is a good example shown by a northerner, a Hausa man,
A House member representing Dogwa, Salisu Ibrahim, who sponsored the motion that led to this honor, says the House is particularly proud to be associated with the tricycle rider who displayed honesty and sincerity despite his economic status.
Yes, this is the type of brand we have. This is some people are celebrating their own. They are singers, they are dancers, they are whatever, artists and others. Yes. So let's celebrate our own. We are celebrating honesty. This is what we have. You can call us anything, but yes, the slave without food. And he has the belief that poverty is not a passport to dishonesty.
It is equally expected that the Kano state government will sponsor Awelu's education, who reportedly dropped out of secondary school on account of financial problems. Idris Jubrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
Truly commendable behavior and honor well deserved. Unemployment and insecurity have been blamed on the absence of a workable local government system in Nigeria. Makurdi residents who spoke to Trust TV's Jimmy Azande say unless governance is taken to the grassroots, there cannot be any significant improvement. Here's that report.
The respondents said the local government, as a tier of government that is closer to the people, was viable, provided jobs and guaranteed security to the people in the past, but lamented that this is no longer the case.
Most local governments, somewhere around the plateau, had transport companies. Kwangpan local government, they employed drivers, motor boys. These people were meaningfully engaged. Ushongu local government had also a transport fleet. People were employed there. What is happening today? Local government can also go into meaningful extraction of of minerals deposited within their purview. So the local government system in Nigeria needs to be revived.
They accuse the federal and state governments of removing local government autonomy in principle, thereby neglecting the third tier at the expense of the masses.
If the local government system is well, repositioned and of course granted some level of autonomy and allowed to control resources in terms of development at that level, then of course much of this insecurity that you see, may be mitigated. By the way, what is insecurity is simply just development. And where there's the lack of development and the absence of development that you see that way in terms of even the human capital and the infrastructure, it translates to the kind of crisis that we see.
But now the whole thing is being run like a kind of a gang system where a group of people at the top, they hijack the system and the dictator plan to their lackeys, and surround themselves with incompetent people who are willing, more than willing to answer, or do their biddings every now and then. So what was meant to be a redemption to the local people within the state and also within their locals, has turned out to be not just only a huge disappointment, but also a dangerous menace to the already disease they had before the establishment of the system. So to my mind, it's not working.
Although there have been calls for local government autonomy, many fear that this may be far from the reality, as according to them, many state governors have conveniently hijacked the system for personal gains. Jimmy Azandi, Trust TV News, Makurdi.
And to an elevating news report now, Gombe State University has awarded an honorary doctorate degree of science to Gombe self-taught engineer Hadi Usman. Hadi, who is in his 70s, has never attended any school for Western education, but succeeded in assembling new technologies. Notable among his work is a stove that runs on water. Trust TV's Ibrahim Ismail has that report.
It was a moment of celebration for the self-taught engineer Hadi Usman as he received honorary doctorate degree of science from the Gombe State University. The university management said the award is in recognition of Hadi's accomplishment and service to humanity. Although he never went through conventional education, the self-taught engineer uses his talent and assembled new technologies, including a stove that runs on water.
My
joy knows no bounds. for an ordinary person like me to receive such an award. I appreciate the management of Gombe State University for the honor, especially the Vice Chancellor.
Ni ban ma sani ba sai lokacin da aka zo min da takardar cewa an zaɓe ni an bani wannan matsayi.
Speaking on his next line of innovations, Hadi said he is determined to use his God-given talent to add value to humanity.
Duk mutumin da ya yi wani gwaninta ka ce kai ya baka sha'awa ya burge ka kare baka kokobo.
If you appreciate someone's contribution, he will do more. However, he would be discouraged without appreciation. I will do more to justify the confidence reposed on me. To whom much is given, much is expected. A staff of Gombe State University, Hadi Usman, had assembled a radio station in the 1970s. His recent work on a stove that runs on water added to his popularity. Ibrahim Ismail, Trust TV News, Gombe.
Hadi Usman, an exceptional Nigerian. Mental health is frequently ignored while discussing health and wellness, while diet and physical fitness are given more attention. Mental health is often stigmatized and neglected. Speaking to Trust TV in Lagos, experts say statistics have proven that 1 out of every 6 Nigerians is faced with one mental health challenge or the other. They advise Nigerians to pay more attention to their mental health by seeking help from a therapist or counselor.
Mental health challenge or the other, and this is really alarming considering the number of persons that live in our country today. So I would like to give a public advice and call to all and sundry, including yourself listening to me now, to pay more attention than you've been paying before about your mental health. And one of the ways, or some of the ways they can actually do this, is by making sure you do not run away from therapy. And when you hear therapy, when you hear mental health services, we are not talking about mad people or yaba left. We are talking about things that are really important to you, to myself, because everyone who has a physical health side of them has a mental health side of them. And you cannot function properly, you cannot live up to your fullest potential if you don't take adequate care of your mental health.
Called mental doesn't mean that you're mental. It's that you have a mind that has its own function and you want to make sure that it functions to its capacity, right? So your mental well-being and your mental wellness is so important. Not even with everything that is happening in the world. Some people focus on only the news. And so they're consistently anxious, they're consistently sad, consistently depressed. I believe that you should have a therapist in your circle and talk to them every month, because something is new and something triggers us in different ways and in different times of our lives.
The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON, has allocated 1,191 Hajj seats to Ogun State ahead of the 2024 Hajj exercise. The Executive Secretary of the Ogun State Muslim Pilgrims Welfare Board, Salau Babatunde, disclosed this in Abeokuta. He said the slots would be distributed on a first-come, first-served basis. Babatunde said the national body had also announced 4,500,000 naira as the initial Hajj deposit pending the announcement of the final fare. He stated that the initial Hajj deposit would be paid through bank draft or by paying directly through bank tellers obtainable at the board into designated bank accounts, while those that had made some deposits during the 2023 Hajj are advised to top it up to meet the current initial Hajj deposit. While assuring that all hands are on deck to ensure a hitch-free Hajj exercise, Babatunde noted that the state government is ready as usual to make the spiritual journey a memorable and fulfilling exercise. He, however, urged intending pilgrims to fast-track payment of the initial Hajj deposit as the old way of processing visas has changed, and informed that visa issuance will be concluded at least 50 days before Arafat by Saudi Arabia. Delta State government on Monday said it will spend the sum of 1.8 billion naira for 3 months as palliative to cushion the effect of the fuel subsidy removal on workers. The state governor, Sheriff Oborevwori, made this known in Asaba when judges of the state judiciary, led by the chief judge, Justice Theresa Jai, paid him a courtesy call. Oborevwori said the sum of 600 million naira was approved monthly to be paid for 3 months to workers at 10,000 naira each. He said it would be paid for 3 months in the first instance. He, however, directed that workers be promoted as and when due, with payment of necessary financial obligations to avoid piling up promotion arrears. The governor, who disclosed that his administration inherited 5.5 billion naira salary arrears, added that the arrears, which will be paid in 4 tranches, will be completely offset by November 2023. The governor, who said the money for the payment of the salary arrears have been made available, added that 2 tranches have so far been paid. The Central Bank of Nigeria says the e-Naira, the country's central bank digital currency, CBDC, is not a danger to the country's financial stability. The Director of Corporate Communications at the top bank, Isa Abdulmumin, stated this in a statement on Monday. He claimed that the assertion was a misinterpretation of the bank's just-released book, Economics of Digital Currencies, a book of readings. He said there was no doubt that the e-Naira will promote financial inclusion rather than pose a threat to the country's financial stability. Away from Nigeria, Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant on Monday ordered a complete siege on the Gaza Strip as the military pounded the Palestinian territory with airstrikes. Gallant said in a video message that they are putting a complete siege on Gaza with no electricity, no food, no water, no gas, referring to the enclave that is overcrowded with 2.3 million people. At least 700 people were killed in southern Israel when Hamas militants stormed across the border on Saturday, shooting people in the communities and towns near Gaza before Israeli security forces began fighting back. Reports say an estimated 250 people were killed by Hamas gunmen at a music festival attended by young Israelis and foreigners near Kibbutz Reim, close to Gaza. At least 493 people have also been killed in the Gaza Strip after the Israeli military launched airstrikes on the Palestinian enclave in response to the Hamas attack. And now sports. Time to join Emmanuel Fashemi for the sports news.
Team FCT have emerged the overall winner at the just concluded second Japanese Ambassador Karate Championship held at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja. Team FCT won a total of 5 gold, 3 silver and 5 bronze medals. Strata Base and Federal Fire Service occupied the second and third positions with 9 and 7 medals respectively. Nasarawa, Rivers and Edo States are third, fourth and fifth with 3, 6 and 1 medals each. Nasarawa won 1 gold and 2 silver medals, with Rivers taking home 1 gold and 5 bronze medals, while Edo won only 1 gold. Taraba, Lagos, Enugu and Niger States won 1 medal each. Team Ondo, Oyo, Benue, Borno, Kwara, Kaduna and Team Kogi ended the championship without winning any medal. The second Japanese Ambassador Karate Men and Women Championship was competed in 15 different categories. In football, the duo of Taiwo Awoniyi and Ola Aina will be replaced by Tyrone Ebuehi and Umar Sadiq ahead of Nigeria's international friendly games against Saudi Arabia and Mozambique. Awoniyi and Aina, who both play for Nottingham Forest in the English Premier League, will miss the friendly matches due to injuries. Both players did not feature in Forest 0-0 draw away to Crystal Palace on Saturday. Before the game at Selhurst Park, their manager Steve Cooper confirmed that Awoniyi will be out for up to a month with groin injury. Coach Pissarro has also called up Boa Vista defender Chidozie Awazim in place of Cardiff City player Jamilu Collins, who is also out due to injury. Collins had just recovered and returned to action for his English Championship club after spending almost 8 months on the sideline. Super Eagles will first take on Saudi Arabia on 13th October before facing Mozambique on October 16th, with both games holding in Portugal. And that is sports. I am Emmanuel Fashemi.
Thank you, Emmanuel, for bringing us up to date. And with that, we have come to the end of the News Hour on Trust TV tonight. Do not forget to follow us across all our media platforms and join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs, and documentary. On behalf of the team, I am Eugenia Abu. We thank you for watching.
From the Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.